We're heading to Paris with this one. Let's jump in and check it out. This one is called FM24 PSG LUCHOBALL. So Luis Enrique coming to PSG, taking control. But of course, this does use Mbappe still with PSG at the time FM24 starts. So we've got a very stacked PSG team. Unfortunately, they don't show how they did in the league. They don't show if they won, the Champions League or anything like that. They just show Kylian Mbappe, Dembele doing a fantastic job, Donnarumma doing an amazing job. So overall, PSG doing a great job. But we're going to check it out with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town as usual. So with all that said, let's jump into the Premier League and see how they did. Well, unfortunately, a PSG tactic by Luis Enrique did not seem to work here in the Premier League. Liverpool in fourth, 72 points. 92 goals is fantastic, but that 72 points is pretty awful. Aston Villa, one down below them with 69 and 77 goals. I mean, they've got some positives, but still, I think you need to really dive into this to take control of this and do a little bit better than they did here. Liverpool's domestic cups unfortunately out immediately against Tottenham 0-2 in the Carabao Cup third round, but they did get to the FA Cup final after winning every single match. Burnley 5-all in penalties, and you smashed Everton 6-1. Interesting, but 2-0 win over Chelsea there. FA Cup final, there's your trophy. Unfortunately, they do get to the Europa League final, but lose out handily 0-3 to Arsenal. So overall, I mean, they still get Champions League next season, but it's not great. Fourth place is not a great place to end up. Runners up the Europa League, fine. Winners of the FA Cup is fantastic. The Carabao Cup is pretty abysmal. And the Greens are kind of there, but not really. But goals, 26 for Nunez, 23 for Salah, 21 for Jota. Assists, 18 for Trent, and it only gets 6.94. But Nunez gets a 7.27. And as we switch over to Aston Villa, losing out in the Carabao Cup 4th round 0-3 to Man City, and then FA Cup 5th round 0-3 to Man City again. And they get all the way to the Europa Conference League final, but 3-4 loss in extra time to Fenerbahce. That one hurts. So overall, not great. We have definitely seen a lot better from them. Aston Villa in 5th place of the Premier League. They do get runners up the Conference League, but everything else, not great. Not a lot of green, but we don't expect a lot of green from Aston Villa. 33 goals for Ollie Watkins is fantastic. 19 for Diaby, and then a lot of just single digits. But assist 11 for John McGinn, Moussa Diaby, and then average rating Ollie Watkins with a 7.23. Data hub for Liverpool, you could see some all-out attacking numbers and some serious dribbling numbers, but they don't get to the tops like you'd expect. Some of the defensive pieces, they're covered, but not nearly as many as you'd expect. Goals per game, 2.42, 1.24 conceded, 1.09 XG against is definitely higher than normal. Aston Villa's data hub, yeah, a lot less numbers. The dribbling's still there, but everything else is kind of on the lesser mark. Only 2.03 goals per game, 1.26 conceded, 1.24 XG against. That's actually kind of on the normal. Premier League stats, Liverpool with 1.89 points per game, Aston Villa with 1.82. Most goals in first for Liverpool, 92. That's a low number for first from what we've seen, at least in tactics in the past. Aston Villa in fourth with 77. Fewest shots against, Liverpool with 323, Aston Villa with 374. Most possession, 52% for Liverpool. Most dribbles made, Liverpool in first with 853, 782 for Aston Villa. Best pass completion, 87% for Liverpool, and most shots for Liverpool in third, 524, Aston Villa in eighth with 430. Now, we've seen Ipswich Town falter quite a bit in the last couple of tactics. How'd they do here? Well, they're back to first. 103 points, 105 goals. Definitely low tallies from what we've seen in tactics of the past, but at least they're back to the top. Not too bad of a domestic cup run. Third round of the Carabao Cup is where they drop out to Manchester United, 1-3, and then 1-2 FA Cup quarterfinal loss to Chelsea. That's pretty good though. To overall championship, they did a fantastic job in this save. Quarterfinals of the FA Cup, pretty well. Carabao Cup, whatever. Squad-wise, they've got some green, only just like a handful though. 27 goals for Hurst, I love seeing that. 18 for Connor Chaplin, assists 16 for Leif Davis, and that's it. But average rating Leif Davis with a 7.28. Championship stats, Ipswich in first with 2.24 points per game. Most goals in first with 105. Fewest shots against in third with 364. Most dribbles made in first with 991. Wow. And then most shots for in second with 633. Under that 700 mark. Wow. So the tactic itself, we start out with a sweeper keeper in defend, fullback on the left in support with a wingback in attack on the right, central defender on the left and defend, with a ball-playing defender and defend on the right, ball-winning midfielder in defend next to a segundo volante in attack on the right, an advanced playmaker in support on the left, a winger in support on the right, a deep-lying forward in support in the central spot, and an advanced forward in attack on the left central. Balanced mentality, in possession, attacking with its wide, approach plays pass into space, underlap on the right, focus play down the right, and play out of defense. Passing directness is standard, tempo is higher, low crosses, work the ball in the box, play for set pieces, and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute to the center backs. And out of possession, a mid-block line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press more often, and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. So how did these three teams do overall? I mean, not bad at all. Ipswich Town in first is definitely a fantastic job. Their numbers are a little bit down, though. Aston Villa and Liverpool, yeah, I mean, not what they're usually getting. Liverpool definitely in fourth is not great. Aston Villa in fifth is fine. Some of the point numbers are just definitely down. Liverpool should be getting at least about 10 points more than that. But again, if you took control of this yourself, as I always say, you could probably do a lot better, turn a lot of those draws and losses into points, and you could climb up the table. So even 69 points up to 75 is not a bad mark. But I don't think the attacking side is fully there with the defensive pieces. I think Liverpool conceded a lot more than they usually do. 92 goals is actually pretty nice, especially for their point tally, but I think Liverpool's issue was they just didn't have the defensive pieces in place. Aston Villa kind of had a mix of both, even though they were kind of average on the defensive mark. But hey, take a look at it. It is a funky, funky shape. I always love these funky shapes. If you have the players that can do it, I'm sure you could do a great job. Test it out with PSG and see how they did. But unfortunately, we saw no real results in the tactic, in the test itself on the Steam Workshop where I got this from. There's really nothing but a Mbappe just free for all. But one save is completely different from another. At least the data is there to back things up. But that is it for me, Stefan FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.